Things to know getting into IT. Part number 2. Check it out. Hey guys, this is Zach with PC Simplest, and we're back again for part number 2 on things you should know in getting into IT. If you missed part number 1, check it out somewhere along here in the comments or something. I will put a link to part number 1, which covers basically things such as applications or different program type of things that you should know, Active Directory, PowerShell, things like that. Check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. This video is going to cover a different spectrum of things here. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, and I've literally talked about this probably a couple times before, and that's people skills. And mainly I covered before in some other videos, talking with people and communication skills, and that's a huge plus. That's a huge thing that you really should know getting into IT, because you really need to have that ability to hold a conversation with somebody, or just speak to somebody in technical terms if you have to, or non-technical terms if you're dealing with an end user. But you just need to be able to just hold up your side of the conversation with your people skills. And the people skills really plays into effect with teamwork. And that's really what I want to focus on, is teamwork. Getting into IT, you need to be able to work on a team with somebody, because it's not going to be just you. Your organization is essentially one large team. So you need to not only function with that large team, but as well as the people in your information technology department. So make sure that you have those good teamwork skills and you're able to work closely with somebody on something and be able to take criticism, feedback, and be prepared to say, hey, you're doing it wrong from somebody else, So just be prepared for this teamwork type of aspect getting into IT, because you will work as a team with people. And you will work with like system administrators or network administrators as a team to accomplish one simple goal of getting whatever project accomplished. So be prepared to make sure you know how to work as a team. That's a big, big one. Now, the next thing that I really want to stress is your organization skills, because a lot of times working in IT, you don't typically have a boss, supervisor, manager, whatever, who's hovering over you daily, telling you what you need to do, how you need to do it, things like that. So you really need to keep yourself organized. You need to, do your tasks the best that you can, manage them the best that you can. And here is a couple tips that I can give you. One, I already have this up on my screen, and that is Trello. Trello is a great free tool where you can manage different tasks, and you have little rows where you can put, I need to do this today, and then you can move it to a different tab or row or whatever and say, this is my completed tab, or this is things to come. And it's a great way to actually organize and manage what you are doing. The next thing, and this is going to be the simplest thing, is write everything down. Get a piece of paper, write everything down. If that's honestly the best way to keep yourself organized. And not only that, on top of keeping yourself organized with writing everything down, when you're learning things, I definitely find it much, much easier to actually learn and absorb things when I actually physically write them down with pen and paper. It really helps actually absorb this information, more so for me, I guess, than actually typing it out. You actually, I feel like, and I think I've read this before, you actually retain more information actually writing it out. It takes a little bit longer, of course, to write it out, but you can refer back to all your notes and everything, which is pretty convenient as well. But you may retain that information more. So write everything down. When you are learning a new step, new tool, new task that you do in your new environment that you go into, you might want to write everything down so you follow the best procedure or their best procedure for doing things the way that they do them. Because, like I said, if you've seen videos of mine before, every organization does things differently. So it really helps if you write things down and just keep track of all of those things. Like I said, piece of paper, pen. Best way to do it, in my opinion. You may beg to differ. You may find Trello might work better for you when keeping all of your notes, or you may use Google Docs or something to do all of your notes and keep good track of it and go back to it. But make sure you just write it down, or type it down, whatever. Keep good notes, and that's part of the organization, write everything down part that I was going to go into. The next thing that you should know, and I didn't really stress it in the other video because I kind of thought about it as everybody should already know this, but basics of Windows. And what I mean by basics of Windows, so you want to know all the basics that you possibly can about the operating system, Windows. So you may even jump into Windows XP at this point. There's a lot of people who still use Windows XP. But learn Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, blah, blah, blah. But learn the keyboard shortcuts. There's a lot of great keyboard shortcuts that you can look up that will save you time and maybe be beneficial for you. Just Google it, YouTube, keyboard shortcuts for Windows. There's a lot of great things there. Windows key R will open up a run, and well, there you go. Run, and then you can type in CMD and open up a command prompt. Bam, done. Got a command prompt open right away. No going to start, run, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's a lot of great shortcuts that you can learn, so definitely check those out. The next thing that I would highly suggest, and this is a big one, is the folder structures, because you will be diving around in many different folders. If you are in a 64-bit environment, you're going to have two different program files folders, and you will definitely need to know what the difference between them is. So make sure you just look into that, how that's structured. Make sure you know where all of your app data files are located, and under app data you're going to have a lot of your Outlook things. PST files are stored under there. You're going to have different settings stored under there. Look under your local temp, because you're always going to want to delete temp files off of computers because it builds up and it's terrible. Just learn where different things are. You're going to want to learn where the host file is. So, again, do a quick Google search, look on YouTube for, basics of operating systems or folder structures of operating systems, just so you can learn where most of the common things live, where the common program files live, where common application files live, because you will be diving in and out of these folders. Part of IT. The next thing, definitely, and again, it's a given, learn to Google. Learn to use the Google. You're already on YouTube, which is one definitely good thing to know, because you can YouTube a lot of things when you're stuck on something or if you need to learn something. But there's going to be a lot of other issues that aren't going to be on YouTube, and you're going to need to learn how to Google them correctly. And a lot of times, honestly, that's just, if you have an error on the screen, you can pretty much type in that entire error code, error sequence and sentence, whatever, and you'll find some answers, but it's going to take some diving through. And you're not always going to find the best answer. You're not always going to find the right answer. And honestly, it takes time. Working in IT for as long as I have, and even working with people in IT that have worked in IT longer than I have, they still Google things, because anything that you can run into in information technology is just going to be beyond the scope of one single person's knowledge. So, get used to Googling things, and don't feel discouraged because you have to Google it. That's part of the trade. That's part of the way things work. You're not going to know everything. And if you think you know everything, I've talked about this before, you don't. Google it. Learn to Google. You'll definitely pick up on a few different websites that will tell you, or that you will use frequently. One that I always tend to go to is like IT Ninja. And there's also the Microsoft answers and stuff like that. They actually do provide a lot of really helpful answers, and you a lot of times will get some responses from Microsoft certified users or whatever, and they do have the best answers, and they will fix whatever answer they gave you will fix it. There's plenty of people out there who have the same issues that you're going to run across, so don't be afraid to use Google. It's a great tool. You should already know that. So make sure that you use it, abuse it, and enjoy it, right? And this is kind of all I wanted to focus on real quick on this video. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up in the comments below. And as always, please like and please subscribe. I greatly appreciate you guys watching these videos and leaving comments, asking me questions. I try to get back to you the best way that I possibly can. And I also try to make as many videos as I can for replies. So again, if you have anything, let me know. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, night, whatever. Take care.